I just woke up from the most delicious nap, and I'm not just saying that randomly because we're actually going to be talking about that mysteriously for our bonus tip for this Facebook Live session, which is exciting. And we are also going to be talking about 3 tips on listening for actors. But first, for those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Julianne Lichty Stratton, and I am the creator of Actors in Action, professional training for actors. It's a studio, an acting studio here in Salt Lake City that is growing and expanding to LA and New York and beyond. And Actors in Action is dedicated to training the actor to do fabulous work, to have their own process, to be able to walk in and feel confident in any booking situation, in any audition, anything. And it's been growing like wildfire. I've been teaching for about 2 years here, and it's really exciting. Anyway, so last week was my first Facebook Live. It was really exciting and very fun. And I think I figured out how to do the comments. So I'm really super excited. So I am going to switch over to another version of this and just take a quick look to see if I can do that. I tested this out, so it should work. Let's see. I'm going to say hi, welcome everybody. If I could spell and do that at the same time. All right, so there we go. Okay, so first of all, we're going to talk about these 3 different tips on listening, okay? And the first one is, let's just talk about my notes here. Let's just talk about what listening is. So listening, we think a lot of times that listening is just using our ears, right? It's like, okay, so I'm going to listen. I'm hearing what they're saying. Okay, great, nice, lovely, whatever. But the truth, of course, especially for acting, is listening is something that we do with our whole being, our whole bodies, our souls, our minds, our emotions. When we're listening, what we're really doing is we're allowing our partner in, or the people that we're acting with in, and letting it affect us, right? Okay. So when we're working with people, when we are working on a scene, let's say we're working on a scene, and a lot of people are like, there's that joke that's like BS, 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 my line, BS, 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 my line, meaning you're not really listening to what your partner is saying, and then you got to say your line. And actors who act like that, it's a joke because actors who act like that, everybody's like, it's not really great acting, right? Because it's just about them. And acting is taking action with other people around you. Yes, there's monologues. Yes, there's Hamlet doing his soliloquies. But when he's up there, he still has activity and he's still listening. We'll get back to that in a minute. So when you're working with a partner and you're connecting to them and you're really listening to them, it helps with so many different things, one of which, it's not going to put you into line readings or let you say the line how you have thought about it before, how you're going to say it. I'm going to say it like this, and I'm going to raise my eyebrow here because it'll be most effective, right? And we all know that that is not good acting. It's not honest human behavior, which is what good acting is, honest human behavior in imaginary circumstances. So when we're talking with our partner, when we're on stage and we're listening, we need to be taking them in. There's a really, really great exercise. Actually, first, there's a really, really great video by Patsy Rodenberg. And I'm just going to post it right here so everybody can see it. Where is it? On my desktop right there. So this is a copy of it that I've put on my website, actorsinactionclass.com. So let me go ahead and put it right there in the comments so everybody can see it. You can take a look at it. It's about 10 minutes long, And Patsy Rodenberg, who is a world-class voice coach and acting coach, talks about the three circles of energy: first, second, third, first circle, second circle, and third circle. And I can't say it as beautifully as she does. It's really amazing how she articulates it. So, what she does though with the second circle is about being connected to what is right in front of you. And it could be another person, it could be an object, it could be a book that you're reading, but there's this give and take, this flow. And that's what we want in our acting, of course. All right. And it can be scary a little bit to be there because you're really letting go, you're really being present. You don't know what's going to happen next. And that's the deliciousness of acting, one of the things. So go ahead and watch that and how she talks about the second circle. I can't recommend it enough. It's really great. Another exercise that is really, really good for learning how to listen is Meisner's repetition. So in Meisner's repetition, it's a really specific exercise. Two people stand apart from each other and one person says something and the other person repeats it. So you have blue eyes. I have blue eyes. You have blue eyes. Little finger puppet stuff. So they go back and forth and they nuance it. They start nuancing it. They go from the physical into the emotional. And when you're doing that exercise, it trains you to be in the moment and to allow yourself to really, really connect. And it's funny, I teach that exercise in my class in Actors in Action. It's one of the exercises that we do to train actors with. And when I'll do it, sometimes people will be like, you have blue eyes. And the person will say, you have blue eyes. You have blue eyes. I have blue eyes. You have blue eyes. It'd be like a zombie. And I have to tell them it's not about being a zombie. Being in the moment is not about shutting down and being quiet and being imploded into yourself. Being in the moment is about being present with what's going on right now, whatever that is, whatever spark your partner is offering you. All right. So that's a great exercise. If you can get in a class, maybe mine, that teaches a repetition, you will really, really improve your listening. All right. So another thing is we talk a lot in acting about being in your head and how you should never be in your head, which you shouldn't, right? But I've noticed, like when I'm doing repetition or when I'm working on a scene with somebody, that I'll have thoughts. I'll have things that come to me. I'll have impulses. I'll have things that, like, I look at them and I'm, if we're doing repetition, I'll be like, they look sad. And so then I'll say, you look sad. It's okay to listen to your thoughts. It's okay to listen to what is being presented with you from within. We need to do that. So don't block that out. Don't be a zombie. And then you don't want to be fake either and be all like, I'm going to say something clever. Okay. So, so that's the first tip on listening, is really engage with your partner. Really, really take your partner in. Put your focus off yourself onto your partner, which is going to sound a little tricky for my third tip. A little bit of a paradox, but I'll explain that. We'll get to that in a second. So, yeah, so we want to really focus on our partner. And the second tip is that we need to keep that fresh. So we start with our scene, or we're shooting something and we're like, I'm going to be all about my partner and I'm going to really focus on them. And we're noticing what's going on with them and we're letting it affect us and we're listening and we're really present with them. And then they do something else that we don't expect. And we're like, oh, wait a minute, that wasn't supposed to happen, right? And so we get out of the moment, and then we're in our head, and then we're like, but he was supposed to say it like this, and then because I was going to say the next one like this, right? So what we have to do is we have to learn to keep going with the moment, keep checking in with the moment. So what I do for that, how I talk about that in my class, is something called checking. So when you're working with somebody else, either a big scene or a small scene or whatever it is, you want something from them. That is the nature of acting. You always want something from them. That is the dramatic structure. That's what it is. I said last time on Facebook Live that acting dramatic structure is somebody wants something, there's an obstacle in the way, they're going against it, and that creates conflict, and that is what drama is. So when you're acting, you have an objective, you have something that you want, and you are taking actions. In my class, we call it verbs. You're taking actions, you're using behaviors to get what you want. So when you're doing that and you're in a scene with somebody and you're really listening, you have to keep checking in with them to see if you're getting what you want. In other words, the moment is going to change. It's going to change. You're going to go through time, and time is going to change that moment, right? So what you have to do is constantly check at them. Check into them. Look in their eyes. Are you getting what you want from them? Are you moving them in some emotional way that is taking you and them towards your goal? Say you want them to admit that they love you. Say you're doing a scene like that, okay? So you keep looking at them and you keep playing your verbs, and like maybe one verb is to invite them. You're like, "Hey, so what's going on?" And you look at them and see if the actor is coming towards you and is going to offer their love to you. And if they don't, because the script says it's not to do that, then you have to change your behavior. And you can't change your behavior, you can't be in the moment unless you are really connected with them. All right? And you can't do that unless you're listening to them. Okay? All right, cool. So also, I'm just going to take a little break for a second. So people that want to comment, people that want to say hello, go ahead and do so. We'd love to do that. Get this out there more. The more people that comment, the more this is going to grow, which would be really exciting, because we have a lot of really cool things to share with actors on actors and actioners. So, okay, so let's go back to the third tip. And this tip is really interesting. And actually, I think it's very interesting. It was an insight that I had from doing last week's Facebook Live. All right, like I said, it was my first time doing Facebook Live, and I was a little scared, and I didn't quite know what I was doing all the time, but I had a really nice time. And I watched it afterwards just to see, how did this go? How did it work? And I thought it was great. I thought the information was good. I loved, the comments that were there. It was really nice. Only thing I noticed was I got this kind of strange sensation just watching myself. It's hard to watch yourself. As an actor, it's a great habit to get into because you can learn so much from it. So I'm kind of used to it. I've watched myself a lot. But I watched myself, and what I realized was I felt like the whole, BS, 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 my line, BS, 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 my line. I felt like I was watching myself not, and I was just sort of rushing through things and blah, 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 I got to get this out and da, 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 and be interesting and da, 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 da. And that I was doing to myself what a lot of actors do to their partners, that they don't really listen. And I was like, what? You can listen to yourself? And I realized that listening to yourself is hugely important for acting as well. Yes, you need to have all of your attention on your partner, definitely. That needs to be there. But that doesn't mean that you abandon yourself. So if you go back to the second circle, if you look at the second circle video, she talks about the second circle as being the circle of equality, meaning that you are connected with the other person that you're with or people. You're connected with them and you're equals. You're all there, present with each other. All right? So that is what, to do that, there has to be two people there, right? So you can put all your energy into your partner and listen and listen and listen, and that's great. We want to do that. That's fantastic. But if there's not another person back, giving something back, which is you, there's not going to be a dialogue. There's not going to be this exchange of energy, which acting is as well. So you need to listen to yourself, meaning the whole gamut of listening. So it's not just with your ears. You're not just hearing what you say. Did I say my line right? Okay, I said my line right. So, okay, that's great. That's great. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, blah, blah, blah. No, you need to experience it. So you're playing Hamlet, to be or not to be. You don't want to just be to be or not to be. That is a question, whether it is nobler in the mind. You want to listen to yourself saying that. You want to experience it. To be or not to be. That is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles and by opposing end them. So that was a huge insight for me and something I hadn't really considered before. And so I started experimenting with my class with it this week, and I got huge, amazing results. I was telling my students, I was like, okay, guys, let's listen to ourselves when we do this as well. I have some students that were like me that rush through things and they're blah, blah, blah. They got to get things out fast. And a lot of people think they need to do that because they're like, well, I got to go in there and I got to audition and I got to do my thing and get out. And the truth is, we think we need to do that just so we can stay small and keep ourselves contained. When the truth is if we are really into experiencing ourselves, we allow other people to experience themselves too. And then they love that. They want that. They eat that up. And we'll get more attention. We'll get more ability to be real and to connect, which is really what casting directors are looking for. They're just looking for a real human being up there. So I challenge you guys to do that. Like I said, some of the people in my classes that rush through things and talk really fast, I had them do that and made a world of difference. It was really, really amazing just having them listen and experience what was going on with them. So try that. Try that at your next audition. Try that when you're rehearsing. Take the time to experience yourself. Okay. Again, we don't want to get in our heads about it, but you can have thoughts, you can have impulses, you can have awarenesses. Slow down enough to feel that and to practice that. All right. Okay. So those are my 3 tips on listening for the actor. Hope those were helpful. My bonus tip. Okay, my bonus tip is something that have been experiencing for the last few days, which is why I took a nap before this, is because I've been working really, really hard on getting a bunch of stuff done with Actors in Action and my own career, and I was getting really, really tired. And last night I was at class teaching, and we were having a run through for our advanced class showcase, which is a week from today and tomorrow. And I was really tired and I couldn't quite get my words out. I was doing okay, but I could just tell I was like, and I was having a hard time listening. So bonus tip is be rested. Rest up. The more rested up you are, the more you're going to be able to listen and connect and communicate. It's really important. So a couple of things with that, how to be rested. Our lives are so hectic. They're so crazy, right? We have so much to do. So what you need to do is, first of all, cut out the things in your life that just are extraneous, that aren't working for you, that are taking way too much time. Maybe you're watching too much TV. Maybe you're on social media too much. Maybe you are out partying too much. Who knows what it is? Maybe you're just staring at the walls. But try to cut those things out so that you have time to do the essentials. And then sleep. Sleep is the most productive thing a person can do in my book. So really good quality sleep is going to help all aspects of your life. I know we hear that all the time, but it's really true. So practice good sleep hygiene. If you don't know what that is, you can look it up online. There's tons and tons of information about that, but basically it means go to bed about the same time, have a little routine before you go to bed, maybe take some melatonin, just get yourself in the habit of getting your sleep. And some people have a hard time falling asleep. I know that I do. My husband's out in like 3 seconds and I'll lay there twiddling my thumbs for like a half an hour. So that's something I've been working on, is trying to fall asleep. And a few things I have learned to do with that is to practice mindfulness, practice feeling where you are, being present. Again, so many things go back to being present. It's really, really amazing. And developing that skill of being able to fall asleep quickly. So there you go. I wanted to share a couple of links with you. I just wanted to let you know some other great things you can look at. So one of them is I've actually been doing the Amy Jo Berman pilot season domination. Not because I'm going to LA anytime soon to do a pilot season, but I wanted to learn some stuff that she was talking about. And I've never worked with her before, and I wanted to be able to educate myself more and see what she has to say and also pass some things on to my students. And she had this really amazing Facebook Live today about auditioning. So I'm going to post that for everybody. Take a look at it. She does great, great stuff, really super helpful for actors. It's mostly towards marketing, which Actors and Actioners, we're mostly about how to act. We do a little bit of marketing, a little bit of that kind of stuff. But she's very specific about marketing in a major market, which is awesome. So we've got that. And then, as I mentioned before, we've got the Actors and Actions Showcase. It's coming up next Friday and Saturday at Suro Studios at 7 to 9 p.m. I'm going to post a link for that. It's a charity event. We're going to be giving all proceeds to Help Hope Live, which is a charity that helps people who have organ transplants. And so we're really excited about that. We're going to be doing some Shakespeare and Chekhov and Eugene O'Neill, a little bit of Lanford Wilson, and we've been working on that. We're very, very excited. And also we have the improv class tomorrow here. If you're lucky enough to be here in Salt Lake, you can come on over at 4 o'clock to Suro Studios, the Black Box again. That is 740 West, 1700 South, Suite 5. It's only $5. And we're going to do some really fun improv. So there you have it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that was helpful. I would love to hear from more comments, and I would love to hear any other topics you would like us to discuss on Facebook Live for Actors and Actioners. All right. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend, and we'll see you next week at 5 p.m. and here. And we may, as a bonus tip, talk about bumbleFooting. So what is bumbleFooting? Well, tune in next time and find out. You can also look it up online if you want, but it'll be really fun. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.